guys, and welcome back to Part-Time Characters, the show where we talk about movies as if we were part-time employees at a video store. I am your host, Maria Garcia, and with me today I have my other two co-hosts, if you will, from the sci-fi aisle, a person who doesn't enjoy movies unless they're scientifically accurate. It's Bridget Surdock from Connecticut, at least at the moment. How are you doing, Bridget?
Right. I'm fantastic. How are you?
I'm good. I think that's the most accurate description I've ever given of you.
Yeah.
Is that correct?
Yeah, it's pretty, yeah, it's kind of sad that that's correct, but yeah.
I'm sure there have been some that you are like, oh, I'll let this slide.
I mean, basically every movie. Star Wars, except for Solo.
Alright, but it's still in the sci-fi area, so not too far.
Yeah.
Okay, from the / comic book / Marvel aisle of the store, I was going to say something else.
/ cool kids aisle.
No, definitely not that.
No, we're not doing that.
Alright, no.
It's Adonis Gonzalez. Adonis, how's it going?
I'm doing alright.
Adonis, I wanted to ask you, well, you were going to tell us anyway. You went to the movies this week, which is rare. I didn't. I wasn't able to. You went to see a movie called Hereditary, which I actually hadn't heard of until you mentioned it, because it's definitely not coming out here until God knows when. So why don't you tell us a little bit about that?
Alright, well, Hereditary is a supernatural horror movie starring Toni Collette, Alex Wolff, and Millie Shapiro. I think it also has Anna Dowd in it. Yeah. It was directed by Ari Aster, and it's a really freaky movie. I mean, I didn't know much about it aside from the trailers, and the trailers made it seem like your average run-of-the-mill supernatural movie. You know, it's about this family who experiences tragedy in the family, and so all of a sudden this weird, freaky stuff starts happening to them, like you do. And they start getting haunted, and that's kind of what I expected the movie just to be, you know, an average haunting movie. And in a lot of ways it was. Like, there's nothing particularly new in regards to the basis of the plot. With a haunting movie, it's still got to do with, like, possession and scary, spoopy ghosts and demons. But without giving too much away, the movie actually, like... and I read a couple of reviews after it because I was trying to put my... I was trying to get my thoughts together for why. And there's sort of... It sort of draws parallels to mental depression with its characters. I guess I should go a little bit more into the plot. But basically, like I said, the family tragedy, and it's all centered around this little girl who... her name is... hold on, I'm trying to remember the name. It's
okay.
Charlie, that's why. I was thinking, like, there's no way it's Charlie, because I was thinking of Good Luck Charlie, but it was Charlie. Because the girl kind of looks like the girl from Good Luck Charlie, which is a show I'm probably the only one who remembers.
Adonis, it always impresses me the amount of references you know about Nickelodeon and Disney Channel. I mean, you always stun me, honestly.
I grew up around that time, so...
I forget that you guys are so much younger than me.
I went through the cast without mentioning Alex Wolff was one half of the Naked Brothers band. Well, I just did, but point is, I wasn't going to until you mentioned my references. So yeah, Charlie, the movie's sort of centered around her. Well, sort of, kind of, without giving too much away. It's not really, but it kind of... The trailers kind of make it seem like it's more centered around her than it actually is. But some weird, freaky stuff starts happening around her and her family, and they start getting affected. And the characters, they kind of all... if you see the movie, you'll understand, but they kind of all represent some form of mental depression, I think. And this isn't necessarily stated in the movie, but it's something that I think the filmmakers were trying to go for when you look at it. And a lot of the movie is visual in its scares, and it's not just jump scares, because I really hate a movie that relies just on jump scares. Like, I saw the last Insidious movie, like The Last Key, and I really didn't like it because 90% of the scares were just, oh, look, there's a ghost, and it's running at us really fast. Which is scary in the moment, but it's really just like a shock factor because it's happening, and then when it's over, you're like, that wasn't really that scary. This movie actually has a lot of scares in it, and a lot of moments and stuff that makes you think that actually kind of just sticks with you to the end. Like this, I walked out of this movie like just completely devastated. Not because of any particular thing that happened to the characters in the movie or anything. Not because I was like not because I care too much about them that something happened, but just because the movie, like, itself and the plots, it really, like, it just sticks with you. It's a really crazy movie, and like I said, I don't want to give too much away because I think I think even the filmmakers didn't want to give too much away because a lot of the trailers don't really represent a lot of what this movie is about or what it shows. So I'm trying to be careful with my words here, but I think that it's honestly a really good sleeper hit, and that if you're a fan of like horror movies and supernatural thrillers, and you don't like a ton of jump scares, and you want to actually get scared with visual scares, then this is really a good movie for you to see. Like, I really enjoyed it. Would not watch it again because I'm a chicken, but I'd watch it again because it's a good movie, but probably not going to watch it again for a while unless it's broad daylight and I have a bunch of people around me.
So, in general, you don't like watching scary movies?
I like watching scary movies, but scary movies really scare me, you know?
All right, well, then I have a bone to pick with you because this episode was your idea.
I know.
And I don't know how we got here. Okay, so I haven't
scary
mentioned...
movies.
Oh, God. I haven't mentioned it yet, but today we're doing retro reviews, and it was Adonis' idea that we would make it a theme. So we watch, like, movies in the same genre, and that way it's a little more cohesive. And Adonis said, hey, let's all watch supernatural movies. And I was like, okay, cool, fine. I am what you call a scaredy cat, so I don't normally do that, but for Adonis I did, and now I found out we all just torture ourselves for no reason, except for Bridget, because Bridget's movie is very cool. But out of all the movies, I think yours is the least scary, Bridget.
Oh yeah, it's definitely the least scary.
It's probably scary for her because of how scientifically inaccurate it is.
Oh,
no,
it's the
scary
80s.
Isn't the right word for that.
We'll get into that very, very soon. All right. So we're back doing retro reviews, and like I said, we're doing it in themes, and I think that will be a good idea in the future. So if you want to leave in the comment section, you know, a genre that you want us to discuss in retro reviews, we'll do that. And I really like this one because we went like for very different decades in movies. I went way back to like, I'm not sure if it's early 70s, then Bridget did like the 80s, and Adonis did, I want to say 2000s. It was like a really good time for horror movies, so Adonis picked a really, really good one. So... Okay. We're going to discuss this. Neither of us had seen these movies before, and we're just going to tell you our honest opinions about them. And since Adonis already started, I don't know if Bridget maybe would like to start with her movie?
Sure. So I saw...
Bridget, I want you to know that you're allowed to say no. Like, I always put you on the spot, but you're allowed to be like, later. I don't want to do this now.
Yeah, she's like, nah.
I'm good.
I don't mind. I'm about to piss off a lot of people. I have a feeling.
Ooh, ready?
I saw Ghostbusters, and...
The original one, of course.
Yeah, I didn't like it.
At all? No redeeming qualities?
No.
Wow, okay.
But, like...
Really?
First 5 minutes, I got pissed off because Bill Murray's character, Dr. Venkman, is doing this psychological study. And, like, at first I was like, oh, cool, it's like, the girl is doing everything. He's saying that she gets all of her guesses correct, even though they're all wrong. The dude is sitting next to her is getting them all incorrect, and clearly incorrect, and he's showing them the cards. He's like, haha, you screwed up. And he's, like, shocking the guy who's messing up repeatedly and not doing anything to the girl. And I'm like, oh, cool, so this is, like, that one psychological study where they pretended to, like, shock, I forget the name of it, but basically, like, this psychologist brought in a bunch of people to do the study, and they gave them a button, and they're like, if you press the button, the person on the other side of this wall will receive pain for getting this question wrong. They had to repeatedly do it, and the person on the other side of the wall would consistently get them wrong, and each time they hit the buzzer, it would be more shock, like it would be more voltage being put in, and... It was to test the subjects to see if they would stop and, like, rebel against the authority figure, which was the scientist, when in actuality the person on the other side of the wall was just an actor pretending to be shocked. It was like, oh, cool, it's one of those. They're faking this. This is really... I can get behind this.
It's sweet that you thought they were that sophisticated.
Yep. Uh-huh. So, yeah. That's not what happened. Venkman was just trying to get in this girl's pants any way possible. And, mind you... His study started, like, actually working because the kid started doing what Venkman predicted would happen, but he just kicked him out and told him he was wrong again. This is,
This is just the first 5 minutes, and Bridget
This
is
is just
livid.
the first... Yeah, I was so mad. I was so mad, because I thought it was great, and then it wasn't. I don't understand why Venkman's the main character. He is just a despicable human being. He has no redeemable qualities. He's not a scientist. He's not.
I take it that you're not a fan of Bill Murray in general, though, because Bill Murray's
fine.
playing Bill Murray.
He's fine. No, like, Bill Murray's... It's the fact that he was touting the title of scientist. I'm a scientist. No, you're not. You're barely a psychologist.
Yeah.
I'm getting distracted. I'm so annoyed about this character.
It's okay. It's your time.
Sigourney Weaver's character, I knew the minute, like, I knew before going into it, I was like, she's gonna end up with Bill Murray and I'm gonna hate it. Like, they're just reducing her to a love interest, and this is Ripley, and they can't do that to her. And she started off, I was like, oh, cool, she's actually, like, telling Venkman what's what, because this guy's a just total douche canoe. And then they have, like, all of 4 interactions together, if you count the one time when she's possessed. And then at the end of the movie, she kisses him. I'm like, what the fuck? How?
Wow, so offended.
That makes no sense. And 2 of the 3 times that she interacted with him, she was like, dude, just leave me the hell alone. You're
That's
obnoxious. True. You're a pompous asshole. And then they get to the end, and it's like, oh, well, he saved me. Well, yeah, he wasn't the only one who saved you. You gonna kiss the other 3, too? Or just Venkman?
She didn't have rapport with the other 3.
Oh, that's... Of course. My mistake.
It's 80s romance. What do you expect? We meet 3 times, I tell you to go away, and then it's like, okay, fine, I give in.
Sure.
I'm not saying it's right. I'm not saying it's right.
Really bad when you describe it like that.
Yeah!
Look, just go through the decade. Seriously, it's very common.
It doesn't make it okay.
I agree completely.
I had a couple other gripes. Oh, the EPA. They totally vilified the EPA for no apparent reason. That guy was just trying to do his job. That's all it was.
I've talked to you, I think, about 3 movies where there's either, like the suit, and you kind of, like, defend the suit, and I find it really funny, because you are so young, and you're just like, they're just trying to do their job!
The EPA is supposed to make sure companies are not being wasteful. It is totally reasonable for them to come into an unknown variable in the city that could be releasing potentially hazardous chemicals into the drinking water, and Venkman was just like, nah, I want to be a jerk and tell this guy to go get I don't even remember what he told him to get. It wasn't a warrant. Doesn't matter. That's really not important. Just because he could. I'm like, really? He wouldn't have shut it down before if you had just been like, oh yeah, we can show you how it works, we can show you how secure it is. No, he just decided, oh, I'm Bill Murray, I'm gonna be a dick.
I'm pretty sure every time Bill Murray gets a script, that's what he thinks when he goes into the set. Honest to God.
Also, you can't just put lights and sirens on any fucking car. That's against the law. That's illegal. You can't do that.
When did that happen? Oh, do you mean their car? What is
their
it called?
car.
Oh. What is it called?
I don't know.
Adonis, help me out. Like funeral cars. What are they called?
Oh, a hearse.
Thank you.
Okay.
Yeah. You can't just... I thought they was like, they named it something.
No. I don't think they did, actually.
No, it has a name. That's what I thought we were guessing.
Does it?
Of course it does. But you can't
so
do
You
that.
are so angry.
Yes,
This
I'm
is
so
supposed
angry.
to be fun and light. What are you doing?
The first 5 minutes pissed me off, and that ruined me for the rest of the movie, honestly.
Okay, let's move on from the science and the inaccuracies. Did you not find the movie funny? Did you not like the humor?
No, I didn't.
At all. At all. You didn't laugh a single time.
No, I was so annoyed. I was sitting there eating pasta, and I said like 5 times while watching this, like, why do people enjoy this? Why is this a thing that people like? Can somebody please explain this to me? Because I don't get it.
Are you asking me for real?
Yes.
Well, I think it also, I'm truly believe that movies have value and meaning depending on what time in life you see them. in not necessarily that you were born in the 80s or whatever, but in your timeline. Mm-hmm. So I saw Ghostbusters when I was much younger, and there was still a bit of like a scary element to it, because I think it was one of the first movies that kind of blended humor and horror. And to me, they were terrifying at the time. And I think, is it the library lady that's really scary? There's one that's like terrifying.
Yeah, the librarian in like the first 10 minutes.
Yeah, she's not fun. So it was like, ooh, a little scary, but it was really funny. And the idea that you could like trap ghosts and wear the suits and everything was really cool as a child. I think in general now as a grown-up, the humor is really funny. To see these guys from SNL do their thing was great. It was kind of like very pop culture iconic. And I don't think it lives up today, because I saw it, I don't know, maybe a year ago, and it was like, I chuckled, and I thought it was funny, but I didn't think it was amazing. I just think it's a matter of when you see it in life, and I think you waited way too long to see it, and it has absolutely no impact on you.
I'm pretty sure 6-year-old Bridget also would have been pissed off at Venkman the whole way through.
You know, I think that's true. I think you were born, like, 35, Bridget.
Yeah,
a 35-year-old scientist.
Right.
He's born a disgruntled 35-year-old scientist.
It's like, I don't understand why people enjoy this. Adonis, have you seen it?
Yeah, I've seen all the Ghostbusters, including the really weird animated TV series.
That doesn't surprise me.
I think it's totally fair to not like it. I mean, I feel like us, as pop culture in general kind of idolizes Ghostbusters a little bit too much. You know, there was the whole controversy with Ghostbusters 2016 and all these people coming out saying, oh, they're ruining our childhood and I can't believe they would do this. I'm like, guys, there's been 2 movies and a cartoon and like toys. It's not like a big, it's nowhere near the level of like Star Wars or something. It's just that because it was an 80s franchise that a lot of people saw as kids, it was completely dramatized and now it's become a really huge thing. I never really saw Ghostbusters as a really huge thing. I think it's a really fun movie. I liked it. I think the comedy's pretty hilarious, but I guess it really depends on like what your taste in comedy is, because it's definitely a specific taste in comedy. I've always thought Bill Murray's character was kind of a jerk, but I always just thought that was funny. Don't know much about like the scientific inaccuracies about it. That's way more Bridget's playing field, but I think it's totally fine. I think it's totally fine to not like the movie. And I don't think it needs to be as big a thing as it is, really. I feel like all this stuff about Ghostbusters becoming a shared universe and like a cinematic universe.
Wait,
thing.
That's
just
people
peopling.
Nope.
Don't.
That was supposed to be a thing, but the 2016 one didn't do well. There was supposed to be another Ghostbusters with Channing Tatum, I think, and like it was supposed to be an all-guy team.
Why does Channing insist on being in everything? There's something about Tatum that I find extremely annoying, and I don't know why.
He really needs to learn to say no.
His head continues into his neck. That's why.
No, I know that. Trust me. From the get-go, when people were like, "Oh, Channing Tatum is so hot," and he had a few years, but now I look at him, it's like that. He did. I don't know how much he grew into that neck, but that neck is gigantic.
He looks like a thumb.
Yes, he does.
He looks like a created character in like a video game, like where the dimensions are just a little off.
just a teeny bit that you would notice.
Yeah.
We're awful people. I'm sure he's lovely.
I'm sure he's a great guy. But anyway, diverting. Yeah, I think it's totally fine to not like Ghostbusters, and I think that Bridget brought up a lot of valid reasons. I think it's a really funny movie, and that's pretty much the only reason I like it. There's probably a lot of flaws that I'm admittedly ignoring, and I probably should watch it again and try and look out for those, but it's totally cool.
You don't have to try that hard.
And you can hate it all you want, and I don't know what came before Ghostbusters, but every damn Marvel movie that you guys like has the same freaking climactic scenes as this movie. The freaking gate, something on top of a building, something flying around that beam, an army of dead people or aliens or ghosts or whatever, and if you do something really big, you destroy the beam, the things die, and you're the hero. That's like every superhero movie you've seen for the past 15 years. And don't lie to me, it's so true.
Not everyone.
Avengers, Suicide Squad, probably 3 more Marvel movies, I'm certain Batman versus Superman had something. Is that? No.
No, that was
One
a
of
giant CGI monster thing.
Ugh, yeah.
They did have it in the nightmare sequence. I guess that sort of counts. As
There's
a giant
tons.
army.
I forgot about that sequence. I forgot about 90% of
Superheroes
that
have-
movie.
Superheroes have taken a lot from Ghostbusters, so you may not like it, but it was the stone where all of your superheroes were built up on.
See,
was
all of those
I'm probably
complaints are
lying.
totally valid, but none of that was what I was complaining about.
No, I understand. Bridget, how does a proton pack kill a ghost? Or
I don't. Those things make no sense. Like, if you have a particle accelerator on your back, why does it have a curved arc when you shoot it? They shouldn't be that difficult to aim with. Like, they're pointing it directly at the ghost, and it's like, oh no, we're gonna do a 180 and turn around this corner. That's, oh god.
I think people just focused a lot on the crossing streams joke at the end, and that was enough for them.
If all it takes is to cross streams to set off that ridiculous explosion, why did you need to cross all 4 of them? You only needed to cross 2 of them, and why did it take so goddamn long? Oh god.
You are going
crossing
to
streams is
love Ghostbusters 2, Bridget.
I'm not.
Oh no.
No, you're really
Siobhan.
not.
I am. I need to get drunk before I see that, dude.
Oh, you should have done that. Maybe that would
I
have
should
helped.
have, but I watched it this morning, and I had to drive to New York shortly thereafter.
Oh no.
So here we are.
Alright, Bridget. Give it a rating. Go for it.
Like a 6.
Oh, that's way better than I thought. You've been complaining so much about this movie. I was certain you were going to be like -5.
I mean, that's still like a D, so...
Wait, no, I said 6 is average, so it's like a 4.
Oh, I'm thinking school grades. Never mind.
Yeah. No. I was thinking school grades too. I was like, no, that's not right, because I made 6 average, which
So we
makes
changed
sense. It's a
Is it-
4.
Okay, that makes more sense. Okay.
4 proton packs out of 5.
Okay.
Adonis.
That was menacing. Okay, so that's Bridget's review of Ghostbusters. Sorry for anybody who loves Ghostbusters. If you want to defend it in the comments, you can do that. Honestly, you're right about everything. I think it's just a matter of suspending belief and enjoying it, but I like I said, I think I described you perfectly this time around in the intro.
Yeah, you definitely did.
I didn't know it was going to be so suitable for this episode, though.
Oh, you should have known better.
Oh,
Just
well.
by the movie that I picked.
True. Okay, so we have Adonis now, if you would like to.
Oh, absolutely not.
No? Okay, well, so it's my turn now. No, but seriously,
Well, I was
you don't want
kidding.
to? Okay,
I
I
was
want to make sure. Alright, you go, Adonis.
So I watched a much scarier movie than Ghostbusters. This movie called The Others, starring Nicole Kidman.
Oh, yes.
I actually watched this movie when I was younger. I can't remember how young I was, but I was like definitely around the age of 10, I think. And I was watching it because my parents were watching it, and it scared the hell out of me.
And
that's all I could
was
remember.
no one like, hey, Adonis, this is a little bit scary. Maybe you should go to your room.
Oh no, my parents let me watch scary movies all the time. I saw 13 Ghosts when I was like 8, and
Oh my
I
god,
don't-
that movie is
they should not have done that.
terrifying.
yeah, I couldn't sleep. But
That is the... Oh no, that's terrible.
it was really, really bad. But I mean, hey, I got to see a lot more movies when I was younger. That was cool.
Bridget, have you seen any of these 2 movies?
I have seen like a handful of scary movies, and it makes me really upset because I love them, but nobody, like growing up, nobody else wanted to watch them, so it was just me trying to convince my parents, who would always say no because they hate scary movies.
So have
Yeah.
you seen the others?
No.
Okay. Or 13
Well-
Ghost?
Nope.
I don't know if it's that scary anymore, but it was like pretty freaky. There's just like the ghosts are very horrible looking, and that was very unsettling.
I don't like gore and like
Yeah,
blood, so
but it was like a weird gore. It was like, oh, like why do you look like that? And I don't know. It was just terrible.
yeah, it was like a Resident Evil
Yes.
type thing.
Mm.
Anyway, not
But,
the movie. Sorry.
The Others is not that. It's actually this. I've mentioned it before, but just want to like point it out. I love my favorite type of horror movie is like psychological or visual in the point that it's not jump scares, but just something about it visually or psychologically that really scares you. Those are the ones that stick with me the most, and I think those are the best horror movies because those really tap into your fear. And The Others is one of the earliest examples of that, for me at least. I know there's way earlier examples, but like I said, I saw this when I was like 10, around the age of 10, and I didn't really remember much of it going into it, seeing it again. I just remember that it really frightened me. And watching it now, 10 years later, still really terrifies me because of just how crazy it is and how crazy the ending is. I mean, I won't give this ending away because it's one of those movies where you have to watch it and see the ending. It's like Usual Suspects, you know, like I know it's a really old movie, but if you spoil Usual Suspects before someone sees it, that really sucks because that movie it changes after you see it the first time. And this movie does too, because you start to notice little things about it once you see the ending, which is, I mean, Bridget, definitely check this out and like just let me know what you think of it because I really love the ending.
No science involved, Bridget. Don't worry.
No science.
I'm so concerned.
So it stars Nicole Kidman as Grace Stewart. She lives in a house with her 2 children. This is immediately after World War II, and they're all waiting for her husband to come home after the war. And you kind of just stay in the house with her and her children for most of the movie, and her 3 servants, and they start to realize, they start to notice things that go on in the house, like lights turning on by itself and like creaking and creepy figures in the dark, and so she starts to realize the house is haunted. Yeah, you know, just a bunch of ghosts moving in for no reason.
Just being a tad annoying, just a little.
Yeah, just a tad annoying. You know, never so annoying that it's like, these guys might be a threat, but annoying to the point where it's like, I don't really know if I want to sleep right now.
Yeah.
And it's, for the majority of the movie, it's pretty much that, you know, it's a haunting movie. She'll walk into a room and she'll see like this figure covered in a curtain, and she'll pull the curtain off and she'll see like a really scary face or something. And so it does have some jump scares in it, but a lot of it, like I said, is psychological. As you follow Grace, and she starts to, I don't want to say her mind is like deteriorating because of it, but you start to get into her head. Like the more scared she gets, the more scared you get in response because of how long you're following this character and everything that she's going through, and you start to get more backstory about her and her children and the war and her husband. And like I said, I don't want to spoil the big like surprise ending, but a lot of it does play into how the movie ends. And so once you watch it again, like I actually watched it twice. I watched it last night, and then I watched it like really early this morning, just to sort of look for stuff like that. And it's crazy. I mean, the second viewing definitely changes everything because you start to notice the stuff that kind of plays into the ending. Like you'll see something and you'll go, oh, that's why this happened, or that's why this is such and such, you know? Mm-hmm. So yeah, without giving too much into it, I really love this movie. It didn't leave me in such a devastated state like Hereditary did, but it's definitely a movie that gets you thinking, and honestly one of my favorite horror movies ever, I think. Like, I'd watch this again, even if it does kind of like freak me out a bit, but hey, I'm a chicken, you know, like horror movies really like freak me out, but I still watch them, just especially the good ones, just because they're good movies, so I'll just power through it. And it's weird, but I actually prefer watching horror movies than playing horror games. I guess it has something to do with like, it's more of a personal experience when you play the game because you're controlling the person, but I don't know. But yeah, I definitely recommend this one.
Yeah, the early 2000s for some reason were like really good for horror movies. I was gonna say The Fifth Element, ignore me. What's it called? The Sixth Sense. The Sixth Sense was around that time.
Oh, yeah.
The Others, The Rain came out as well, maybe a few years later. It was like really, really good. They were doing like very good movies. I don't know where we went wrong. Actually, I do know where we went wrong. I think the found footage part really ruined horror movies for many years. So this was all like a little bit before that. It makes sense. I have never finished The Others because I saw The Sixth Sense in theaters, and then I saw it in my house, and I was like, yeah, I'm scarred for life. I don't need to watch any more horror movies. And this one came very soon after, I think, and I was like, no, thank you. But they told me, my dad watched it, and he told me everything about it and how it ends. And it's a real pity we can discuss. Yeah, I was like, I'm not gonna watch it, just tell me what the deal is. And he told me. So, it's a pity we can't really talk about the ending because there's then so much else you can talk about. But it's very clever. I found it very, very clever. Nicole Kidman is an incredible actress. And so I've seen bits and pieces, but I've never really finished it.
And it's something that's been, like, in regards to the ending, it's something that's been done before, like, before the others. And I think a lot of movies copied the others after it came out, like a lot of modern movies. Okay. But something about the way that the others does it, especially if you watch it again and start to notice those little clues, they definitely lead up to it. It's not something that just happens, like, out of the blue. There's a lot of reference points to it. And I think that's really smart. I can't remember the director's name right now. I think it's Alejandro something, but he's definitely a really good visual director because he tells the story very non-verbally when you watch it.
The atmosphere is very strange. The house, of course, they're moving in, and so it's like slightly abandoned and it's like very vintage looking, but it just adds to it. But even the surroundings are like foggy and sort of dry, and like nothing screams life around it. Nothing says welcome. I think he did that very well. The design was wonderful.
Not a house I'd move into.
No, that's always something that surprises me. Like, people look at these houses and they're like, yep, I can live here. And you're like, no, why would you buy that house? Never.
An old abandoned mansion near a pet cemetery? No. That's going to be great for me.
Gothic looking? No, thank you.
Yeah, it's a really, like, dark movie. Like, just the way it looks.
Mm-hmm. I'm sorry, did you rate it? I don't remember.
Oh, no, I didn't. I'd give it a 9 out of 10. I really enjoyed this movie. Yeah.
Bridget, do you watch scary movies now on your own, or you're still looking for, like, a partner?
I try to watch them on my own. I like, have to be in the mood to watch a scary movie.
Bridget, are you not brave enough to watch them on your own?
That has absolutely nothing to do with it.
Well, then what's the reason?
I like scary movies, but if I have the opportunity to watch something else, I will almost always choose something else. Almost.
That's fair.
I don't know. Do you smell chicken, Adonis?
What?
I'm not gonna go with that. I am
joshing. I couldn't. I'm a scaredy cat. Like, I don't watch them precisely because I get scared. So I'm just messing with Bridget.
I'm more scared of Bridget than horror movies. So I'm gonna.
I think that's fair.
Yeah.
That's very fair. Is there anything else you wanted to say, Adonis?
No, that's it, really. I really want you to see it, Bridget, so we can at least, like, talk about it together. And anyone who's listening, definitely check it out if you haven't seen it. I have it on DVD. I don't think it's on Netflix.
No, it's not, sadly.
That's the main reason why I, like, don't watch scary movies, is I can never find them.
Yeah, there's not a good selection on Netflix at all.
Yeah.
I tried so hard to find something on Netflix. They just have a bunch of really bad direct-to-DVD
scary
movies.
It's getting embarrassing, honestly.
Yeah.
I'm surprised Coco's in there.
I know, right? Oh my god, that movie made me cry.
Yeah, let's not go there. Bridget didn't cry.
Bridget didn't cry. My brother sobbed a storm when he watched it with me, like... He's like 7, so, but I mean, still.
Oh, I sobbed, and I'm 29. When I first saw it, I was with my brother, and it came to that part where it gets really quiet, and you know people are crying, but you don't say shit, because that's not polite. And my brother turned to me, he's like, are you really gonna cry? And, like, completely ruined the moment for me. I was like, wow, thanks. Okay, so, I watched the original Suspiria this weekend. I've heard about this movie for years now, and it's always been, like, super highly rated, and they talk about it like one of the best, out of 100, like one of the best horror movies ever made. And recently the new teaser came out. They remade the movie. It's coming out, I think, in November, and I think it is Amazon Studios. So I thought, you know what, let's just watch the original. Sorry?
Oh, I was saying there's only one reason I'm going to see the new one.
What's that?
For Dakota Johnson.
What? No, it's Chloe Moretz. Come on.
Oh, she's in it. Yeah, she was like in a second in the trailer. I didn't realize. Sorry.
Shame.
Some crushes never die, I guess. So yeah, the trailer came out, and of course everyone was like, "Oh, I'm so scared. This is the spookiest thing." And I'm like, "Okay." So I decided to watch the original because sometimes the originals honestly do it better. I can safely say that I think a remake will do a wonderful job, because this movie is all kinds of weird, and I don't even know where to start. It's just plain weird. So, if you don't know what Suspiria is, and you're excited to watch the movie, Suspiria is about this American ballet dancer who gets transferred to a very prestigious ballet company in Germany. No further details on that. She's just transferred, she goes there, but I think the night that she shows up, these very awful, brutal murders happen to people who belong to the ballet company. So when she gets there in the morning, they're like, oh yeah, we're dealing with this, 2 people have died, we don't know why. So she comes in and the atmosphere is like very hostile and very weird, she has no idea what's going on. And from then on, like a lot of weird things begin to happen inside the company, inside the building, that leads to believe that there's some supernatural things going on in the building after sunset. So that's pretty much the premise. And when I heard about it, I was like, oh, this is really cool, you know? Like, you're mixing, like, the classic ballet with probably some supernatural stuff, and ballet is, like, very classic and vintage looking as well, so maybe there's something there with some supernatural, like, old spirits. I was on board immediately. Now, the first murders, they do show them to you in the movie, and it's super tacky and cheesy. And that sometimes you think, okay, well, it's the 70s and maybe it doesn't look as good, and I try not to get my head, like, in that mentality that the effects are not as good, but it was just, like, stupid, you know, and gory for no reason. They stab one of the girls so many times, and then they show you, like, her chest is open and you can see the heart, and then he stabs the heart. And then it was like gory to extremes, which is fine, I can deal. But then the blood is so overly fake. It's like that super bright red blood. And I really want to know at what point in film history someone went, you know what? That blood looks fake as shit. Like, we need to change this, because it's awful. Like, you can't get into it. Like, you can't get on board that someone's dying because it just looks like paint. It doesn't work. And, throughout the movie, it just feels a lot like that. Like, the director got a hold of a lot of prosthetics and props and ways to do visual effects, and he was focusing so much on that he didn't focus on the story. And so it just ends up looking goofy and cheesy for a lot of it. And in general, the story feels really interesting. I can't wait to see what they do with it in this one, because the girl keeps encountering a lot of weird things. It looks like she's getting poisoned at night, so she doesn't find out what's going on. They're messing with her mental state, so it could really, really be good. Now, the other problem was, I don't know about you, but sometimes horror movies, the music just does everything. Like, nothing can be happening, and the music makes you really scared. In this movie, like, nothing was happening, and the score is just, like, 10 people decided to work on it, and there's all kinds of sounds happening, and you just don't even understand what's going on. It makes no sense. It's not scary. It's, like, synthesized and, like a synthesizer and, like, some congas and some voices, and it's not scary. It's an awful score. A lot of people praise it. I think it's absolutely awful. I can't deal with it. There's, like, a girl walking down a hall, and she's going slowly because she's trying to listen to something, but you can't listen to anything because the music is super loud. You don't know what's going on. So that really kind of takes you out of the experience as well. So it was a lot of that. The ending makes no sense. I will say it's related to witches. There's something going on with witches, just so you know what it is.
Oh, of course.
And again, I think that could be really cool, but they kind of take forever to let you know what's going on. And for a while it feels like a slasher movie, but the murders are not even fun. And I know that sounds ridiculous, like, murders should never be fun. But, for example, I don't know, you think about, I don't know, tell me a really good slasher movie that you've seen.
Halloween.
I haven't seen it. But I'm assuming each murder, like, is pretty memorable, and you know what happens and how they die. Like,
yeah.
The chase scene and all of that, you're like, oh, okay, that's from that movie, and that was really an interesting scene to watch. Like, the murders here are not interesting to watch. You end up feeling like they should die because they're beyond stupid. There's this scene where the girl gets, like, slashed on her face, and she knows she's getting attacked, so she closes the door, and it's like one of these old locks where you just basically, like, move it down towards the side of the door and it locks, but if you put something thin throughout the door and move it up, like, you can unlock it. Like, that's as simple as it is. So the killer has a knife, and he's pushing the knife through the door, through the side of the door, the slit, and then he's trying to move up the lock so he can unlock the door. This takes way too fucking long, to be honest. And all the time, she's just staring at the door, waiting for him or her to unlock it, and nothing is happening except just someone trying to unlock a door. It was so boring, and she was so stupid that I was just like, yeah, you deserve to die, because you're not doing anything to survive here. That went on forever. So, it was just cheesy and silly. And then another thing that really took me out of it, apparently, because it's an Italian director, so there were a lot of Italian actors, there were German actors, and apparently a lot of people didn't speak English, so they dubbed their voices and the dialogue. So the dialogue looks like The Room, kind of. Like, you know something's off and something's weird, and you don't know why. So the actors knew, obviously, what each other were saying. Even if it was in a different language, they would react accordingly. But something felt disjointed. Something felt like you're not talking to each other, or something's going on. So all in all, I don't understand why people like this movie. It has a super high rating in Rotten Tomatoes. I think like 92%. Don't ask. I will say, though, the visuals were amazing. The visuals were really cool. The place is, like, covered in red velvet for some reason. I don't know how that's practical, but it is. The shots were beautiful. The cinematography was really interesting. Give it a shot. If you want to be mad or drunk and watch it, Bridget, gladly you should do so. Other than that, I'm very excited to see the one they're making now, because it seems really interesting. Like, I think it's an interesting premise, but...
Is it the same story, basically, or is it?
Yeah, I think it is the same story. The trailer didn't show much, and they didn't say anything in the trailer because it's just a teaser. But yeah, there was dancing, and Dakota shows up like she's new. I think Tilda Swinton is going to play one of the ballet instructors, the teacher, who has a very big role. I'm not sure who Chloe is, I'm sorry. And I think Chloe might die Adonis from what I've seen in this movie.
Well,
sorry.
It happens.
Just let you know.
Man, I just want to let you know, I'm looking at the death scenes from the original right now, and I just got to that art thing you were talking about, and...
Did you?
Wow, this is the fakest thing.
It's pretty fake.
She looks like she's covered in hot sauce. This is...
Yeah, it's odd, and then there were a lot of scenes that it seems like he really, really wanted to use some kind of practical effects, because there's a scene where a dog goes crazy because of some spirit and mauls his owner, who's blind, so it's like a seeing eye dog. And it looks really fake, it looks really stupid. And again, I'm trying to keep in mind that, it was a different time and you didn't have like the same practical effects as now, or even CGI, but like he just took way too much effort in that and ended up looking a little too dumb, in my opinion. But then when you think about movies like, I don't know, The Shining was close to the same time, and I guess The Shining didn't have much practical effects. It was way scarier, and they handled it way better, so I guess it's fair to judge it the same way, I guess.
Mm.
Yeah.
So what would you rate it?
God. I would rate it a 6. I think it's a 6.
6?
I think it's worth watching for the cinematography. The shots are gorgeous, really, and they play a lot with light. At night, everything is red. Then there's some green. Other rooms are like fully blue. It's beautiful to look at, and the suspense is good. But in general, it's just like, oh, and it doesn't make sense. Like in the end, they're trying to like kill the main protagonist, but then like, why did you bring her here? Like, because they transferred her. They wanted her there. I don't know. Like they need to like. There's a lot of plot holes that need to be fixed, and I hope they do fix them. Because I think it could be a really good, like you said it on, it's like a psychological horror, like that affects you, makes you feel uncomfortable, and that didn't happen. So yeah, a 6. I think 6 is fair. Sorry if anybody likes Suspiria.
I have a feeling that's a very small market.
I don't know. I think you might be right. I think it's considered like a cult movie. But I'm interested because one of the reasons I want to see it, it's a trilogy. It's called The Three Mothers. So like 3 different female roles are highlighted in each movie. And I don't know how that works in the other 2. I would like to know. But I don't know if I want to watch them. So, I don't know. We'll find out.
I mean, it sounds and looks really... I mean, I just got to the dog part. It's...
How are you watching this? Like, is there like all the clips on YouTube or something?
Yeah, I just searched all deaths in Suspiria. It's really easy to find.
Yeah, it's not. It's kind of silly. It's fun to make fun of it, but other than that, I don't know. I'm happy for the remake.
Like the 70s, you said?
I think 76. I might be wrong, but I think it is like around those years. Okay, so guys, we've given you 3 supernatural movies that you can decide to watch or not. I think you should watch Ghostbusters because it's funny, no matter what Bridget says. The Others is definitely the best choice. And Suspiria, I don't know, man. Just give it a shot if you want to. If you've seen any of these movies, we would love to know in the comments section. And if you have any suggestions for supernatural movies, let us know as well. Because sometimes I'm brave. Bridget is still looking for a friend. And Adonis, I don't know. I don't know what Adonis is waiting for.
Not really waiting for anything. I'll watch them. I'll complain about how they scared me, but
that's fine. Adonis, do you have a dumb question for our listeners?
Do I have a dumb question?
One of your this or that's.
Yes.
Oh, this or that, huh? Okay.
On the fly, by the way, people.
On the fly. All put on the spot. That's when I perform best, when pressured.
Well, I mean, technically, yeah, it would be the best time that you perform unpressured if you're put on the spot.
Yeah, I guess that's true.
Okay, I'll let you think for a minute, Adonis, unless you have something now.
Oh, I got something.
Uh-oh. I'm so scared.
Right. Why are you scared?
It's terrifying.
It's into the theme.
Oh, God.
All right, for all you gamers out there, Xbox or PlayStation? See, you guys were expecting something really weird, and I didn't do it.
Well, the last one was noodles or rice.
I always play against expectations.
Do you, though?
I don't know. Probably, I guess.
Do you ever feel like Adonis just says things, Bridget?
I feel like he does.
You know that one screen cap from The Office where it's I just start talking and I don't know where my sentence is going? That's Adonis.
That's pretty much me, yeah. Okay. I don't know, I've been watching a lot of E3 recently, so that's where my head is right now.
I'm sure everyone is at the same place, so they'll just let us know, PlayStation or Xbox.
Or if you're one of those Nintendo people, go ahead and break the mold.
Hey,
that was not an option.
I'm just
one or
saying.
the other. I'm sure somebody's going to say it now because you put it out there.
I don't want to exclude anybody, You're still playing.
You gave them 2 choices. You can't choose the secret answer 3.
I feel like Bridget used to talk to her teachers this way.
If you play Nintendo, I'm sorry, but we don't want you here.
Okay, that's so I guess I'm bye. Podcast over. Bye. I do have a quick question for you guys, and for anyone listening, if you want to answer it. Do you have a favorite supernatural movie, or one that really messed you up?
Probably The Others. I don't
really
can't. Yeah, I mean, I can't think of anything else that really. Or what's that one that God, it just came out.
The Witch?
No, I still haven't seen The Witch.
It's really boring.
I've heard really mixed things about it. That one and Mother. I haven't seen Mother either.
Oh, is Mother supernatural? I've been meaning to see it.
I don't know what Mother is.
I don't think people know.
I've stayed away from spoilers this long. All I know is there's something weird involved, and the trailers kind of show that. I think it's on Netflix now, so I might check it out, but I'm kind of scared.
Ooh, if it is on Netflix, I'll watch it. Yeah. Aronofsky's just a messed up person. I don't expect anything less.
Oh, yeah.
What about you, Bridget?
I don't think I have one. I haven't seen enough.
Is it not Ghostbusters?
It's definitely not. I think mine is Mothman Prophecies. That movie scared the life out of me. Not even kidding.
I forgot about that.
Oh, that movie, and I always get embarrassed at mentioning it because I don't think people remember Mothman Prophecies that much, but that movie messed me up, and I watched it twice, and I think the second time it hit me because they do at the end, based on true events, and I was like, if this shit is real, then I don't want anything to do with this, no, and just the idea that there was a Mothman, that really messed me up for a long time. I don't ever want to see that movie again in my life. Ever.
Well, I guess I know what we're watching next time we choose horror.
Yeah, you can watch it all you want. I'm never watching it again. No, but honestly, it's a really good film. And if you like horror movies or something like that, you should watch it. It was well done. Alright guys, that's pretty much everything for our retro reviews episode. And I haven't actually even told you guys, but we are pretty much everywhere at the moment. We're in Pocket Casts. Hold on. We are at Spreaker.com, Stitcher, iTunes, of course, on Google Play Music, if you like that. What is this one? Yeah, we are at Blueberry as well, and we are... Where is this one?
What in tarnation is Blueberry?
In Pocket Cast, yes, I already said that. So wherever you like to listen to your podcast, you will find us there if you look for part-time characters. You can also find us on Twitter and Facebook if you look for PT Characters. That's our username, and normally either I or Adonis write silly things there. That's about it. But if you want to find us individually, you can also do that. And let's start with Bridget. Where can people find you?
You can find me on Twitter or Instagram under Bridget Surdoff. I have a unique enough name that I can do that.
Yeah, stop bragging.
I just post little drawings on Instagram and funny shenanigans that people at work or in my family say on Twitter. Also, totally derailing this a little bit, but I remembered the study I was talking about earlier. It's called the Milgram experiment. If you don't know what Milgram, Stanley Milgram. Okay. It has to do with World War II. So if you want to learn more about that and Nuremberg trials, it's a very interesting experiment.
Yes. Don't be dumb and watch Ghostbusters. Be smart and look for the Milgram experiment.
Yes.
There was no trace of sarcasm there, honestly. Just so you know.
I assumed not, but...
Okay. Or maybe I'm that good.
Maybe you are.
We'll never know. Adonis, where can people find you?
You can find me on Twitter at fanjournalist. I do have a unique name as well, but I don't use it for some reason. And I'm also contributing sort of to this website called Cultured Vulture. So if you like gaming or movie-related news and editorials, you can look for my name on there. Like I said, I've been watching E3, and that's kind of why, because I've been writing news stuff. And it's really hard to watch something and then write about it at the same time, I've realized. It's kind of stressful.
Thomas, you can't publicly say that you find your job hard.
It's the bet. It's so easy. I love it so much.
Easy.
Writing is the easiest thing ever, guys. Don't let anyone tell you different.
Piece of cake.
So yeah, it's a piece of cake. Really, really hard cake.
Ugh. So true. That's very accurate, actually. And you can find me if you look for Cineclub channel pretty much everywhere. I'm on YouTube. That's where I review movies or talk about any other movies. I'm also posting the podcast there, so if you rather go there, you can do that as well. And any other videos related to movies, I'm also there on YouTube and Instagram and Facebook and Twitter. Alright, so that's basically it. Thank you so much for listening to us, you guys. Don't forget to leave us a comment. We love reading them, especially now we're back. Don't forget we're also every other week, just in case you think you're missed a podcast. No, we're going to do it every 2 weeks. No, every week. Every other week, right? That's how you say it?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yeah.
We are on every other week. There you go. Don't forget to leave us your answers for Adonis' questions and our questions about supernatural movies. And we will see you, not next week, the one after that. How do you say that?
So we'll see you next time.
Oh, that's brilliant. I can't believe I didn't think about that. Let's do this again. Thank you so much for listening. Don't forget to leave us your comments or rate us on iTunes. It's really appreciated. And we will see you every other week. Sorry, Bridget. From Puerto Rico, I am Maria Garcia.
From New York, I'm Bridget Surdock.
Liar.
Frick. I'm so used to that. I'm sorry. From Connecticut, I'm Bridget Surdock.
From
sorry.
Definitely Buckeye, I'm Adonis Gonzalez.
We will see you next time. I'm so sorry. I feel like I just called you out on a jury or something.
Dude,
liar!